A very good evening to you all. Welcome to session 6 of Life and Homeopathy Through My Eyes. A very good evening to you all. Welcome to session 6 of Life and Homeopathy Through My Eyes. In session 3, I spoke about the importance of food related to immunity. Yes, vital as much now and always. In session 4, I explained the importance that mind had on our weight, obesity, and diseases too. In session 5, we had a clinical psychologist join us and tell us the importance of mental health not only in today's times but in different phases and stages of our life. So, today in session 6, Rule Your Way to Health, we have a clinical dietitian joining us soon. She has had 7 years of great experience, be it with weight management or disease management. Till we have her join our session, let me say a big hello to all of you today. Yes, and as promised, I shall share my weight loss journey with you, the ups and downs, lows and highs. I had gained a good 12 to 15 kgs in the past 8 years, more so after the age of 47. Yes, with 12 to 14 kgs, slow and gradual rise, 1.5 kg per year, my mind and body had got accustomed to it and I had become complacent. I had become laid back and had left doing anything about it, more so because it had still not led to diseases. And 47, though you may think is a common age, especially for women, to gain weight. Well, I defy that by saying not all women need to gain weight at that age, and also it is completely preventable and treatable. Hi everybody, welcome. Yes, so going ahead, this year, January, I made 10 kgs weight loss as a part of my New Year resolution. I decided that it would be more lifestyle changes that I would be adding upon, and healthy eating habits is what I am going to add upon still further and make weight loss a byproduct of these lifestyle changes. So I had the mantra that I would eat healthy, eat happy. I would live happy, live healthy. And with this mantra, I went ahead. I became very observant about my mind, about my body, in what state I felt or I craved for sugars, fats, or the high calorie foods, and at what state I was eating all healthy foods. So I noticed that when I would sleep well and exercise, my cravings would be at the lowest. Let me tell you, good sleep and exercise releases the feel-good hormone called endorphins, and these hormones really help to keep our cortisol, that is the stress hormones, within control. They are the hormones which play that mischief, the true aunt, and cause water retention, weight gain, obesity, and a number of diseases because cortisol also reduces our immunity. So going ahead, I improved on my sleep. I made it a good 7 to 8 hours. I saw that I exercised regularly, 30 to 45 minutes, 5 to 6 days a week, and that's how it went on. One thing I would like to say, I never stressed out on the weighing scale. I know of many people who get so upset with even 100 grams of increase. But let me tell you that the cortisol will be at play. So don't let it play the mischief. Remember, eat healthy, eat happy, live healthy. Being a Punjabi and an absolute foodie, I love food in all ways, in all forms. So what I decided is I would make a list of the various food groups: cereals, pulses, vegetables and fruits, the dairy and animal products, though I eat only eggs, not meat, and the fats and oils. So under this, I made a list of all that I love to eat. And I divided them into healthy, moderately healthy, and unhealthy. I consciously ate the healthy food and to some extent the moderately healthy food, keeping the unhealthy ones aside. See, it's very important when I say eat healthy, eat happy. It's very important that your mind and body are in sync and you're really feeling happy about it. We are not going for fad foods or diets. It's not a temporary solution. We want a permanent lifestyle and eating habits that will take us a long way. And with that, I continued. Well, from after 1st Jan that I weighed, it was then 10th March when I decided to weigh myself again. And trust me, I was feeling very energetic. My skin was glowing. I was fresh, feeling much lighter. And I felt in my mind I had lost on an average at least around 4 to 5 kgs. Guess how much would I have lost in this 2.5 months? Any guesses from you? Any of you? Well, when I stood on the scale, I had lost just 2 kgs. For a moment, I was really upset, but I caught myself saying that what was my intention when I began this? It was eating healthy, lifestyle changes. And I had to now introspect and see what was I doing wrong. I observed my mind more intently and saw that I kept my stresses away. I worked on a priority basis, kept things on priority, and very important, it was time for me to get a dietitian by my side. Because dietitian is a specialist who deals with the calories that you consume, which are the food groups. We are waiting for you, Naina, our clinical dietitian. We are waiting for you. You have a lot of queries coming up your way because our viewers have already, hello, yes, Naina. Our viewers have already sent me a list of queries that they would want to ask you. So I followed the dietitians. Yes, let me have Naina join us. Waiting for Naina, yes. So with the dietitian on my side, trust me, in the following, hi Naina.
Hi.
A very good evening to you.
Good evening.
Our viewers have been waiting for you. They already have a list of questions ready that they had messaged me prior, knowing that you would be on the show, on the session.
Oh, so you can discuss it.
Yes. So, well, friends, I would like to say I have known Naina for the past 3 to 4 years, and I have known her as someone very intelligent, very simple, straightforward, and very helpful at all times. And I'm sure she's going to help you today with all your queries too. So,
Definitely.
Naina, I was just telling them about my weight loss journey where I fell short and which were my lows and how I needed to have a dietitian by my side because it is you all who are expertised in the field where you know exactly related to the calories, you know about which food groups are to be had at what time and in what proportion, and it was so important. So, in the 4 months that I had a dietitian by my side, I had lost another 10 kgs very healthily, happily, and overall 12 together. So, let me tell my viewers that Naina has been working with Tata's. She has worked with the Reliance, the Harkisan Das Hospital, and has a lot of experience with other hospitals too. So before or without wasting time, I would like to start with the question that one of our participants has put to us, and that is, many people today follow keto diets or a two-meal diet plan per day. What is your suggestion or take on this? Should one do it? How healthy is it?
Firstly, thank you so much, Dr. Prabha, for inviting me.
It's our pleasure.
And getting directly into the question answer. My take specifically on these kinds of diets, the very first question that you ask yourself is, can you sustain it? Is it something that you're going to be living on forever? You know, if the answer is no, the answer is straight to you. No, it's not a good thing to do, because you might be doing it for a short-term goal, but towards the end of that program, once you've achieved your goal, you do not know what you might have lost, because these kinds of diets usually restrict you, because they all are very specific. They will tell you to eliminate certain things, include certain things. So when the elimination process happens in these diets, you miss out or lose out on a lot of nutrients, and you do not know in the long run what you might be inviting, what kind of problem you will be inviting for yourself if you get onto these plans. So my take is that if it's going to be there for you forever, please take it up. Otherwise, a big no.
True, very true. I was discussing with them the same thing before about how important it is that we are happy with what we are eating, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. One of our viewers has the question that she eats healthy, she avoids junk food too, and eats regularly, but still she gains weight. What do we have to say to her about it?
So I think, as Dr. Prabha, you were also mentioning that, as you just said, that you were trying to eat healthy and you were trying to,
Yes.
imbibe all those habits that you could, but you do not really see the results. Possibly she is somewhere down the line going wrong, because, we as humans, in fact, it's like a lame person, when he tries to understand things, he probably puts it as a black and white, that this is good for me and this is not. But as you, Miss Dr. Prabha, and for me, you actually analyze and try and understand that probably this is something that is not going to work. There is a gray area always. So we understand
Yes.
the requirement and unhealthy and include accordingly. So probably it is time for you to consider somebody who would give you that advice.
Yes, very true. That's what I had just mentioned before you entered, before you came on our session. And also, I would like to ask that is it so that the particular age groups, be it the growing children or you would say the 50 plus or the senior citizens, do they need something different in their diets?
Well, of course. Now, when we look at different age groups, we also look at what is the exact thing that the body requires. As a child or somebody, as a growing children, as somebody, probably when you're hitting puberty is the time when the requirement is different. When you're growing, the requirement is different. As an adult, because it's a maintenance phase, and you just need to maintain what health you've achieved. There's a different requirement. And when you become, you cross the age of 55, 60 is the time when the body is actually trying its level best to retain, because it's going to lose everything slowly and steadily. So the requirement, of course, changes with age groups. For children, it's very important that, along with the caloric intake, which is supposed to be high, things like good fats, which we often miss out, because children nowadays are so conscious that they try and avoid as much of unhealthy foods as possible. unhealthy, and along with that they do not understand, and they kind of lose a lot of fat. So it's very important to understand that with calorie your bone is growing, your hormones are developing. So these foods which are rich and which are going to improve these things, you want to include that. And at that age when you're losing out on things, the age when you hit 55, 60, you need to make sure that even if your caloric intake has reduced because your appetite reduces, your metabolism reduces, but at the same time, in that less amount, how can I improve and how can I increase my nutritional quotient in those little foods that I have? So, things like antioxidants, because you're aging, so that process requires good amount of fruits and vegetables and antioxidants. So these are the small things that you need to kind of tweak in your diet as you cross those ages.
Right. Very well explained, Naina. Also, I would like to add here, there are many nutrients, many foods whose nutrients or nutritive value is not known to everybody. Let me give you a simple example. Did you know broccoli has double the amount of vitamin C than an orange? Did you know that? Well, there's a little things that we tend to miss, right? So that is where people like you, professionals like you, help us out. Going to our next question, it's like after waking up, within how much time should one eat? And is it really essential to eat before you begin your exercise? Because some people like to exercise empty stomach immediately after they wake up. So what would you suggest to them?
So in these cases, it's always ideal, because you're waking up after a long fast, probably 7 hours, 9 hours, even 10, 12 hours. It's always advisable to include something in your diet, which gives you that little instant energy. So, things like, which are very easy on the stomach, things like dried fruits or things like fruits, these are very small things. So even if you like working out empty stomach, a small fruit will not really make that much of a difference or will not really create a havoc in your stomach when you're working out. You can always accommodate something probably 30 to 45 minutes after you've woken up. And if you're going for a workout, you can probably include 15 to 30 minutes before your workout, so that at the time of workout, your body blood circulation is all over your, in your extremities where you're working out, rather than in your stomach trying to digest food. So these are the few things that you can try and make sure you accommodate.
True. And let me tell you, viewers, that apple is one food which gives you more energy than coffee. And did you all know about this? Yes. And something that I want you all to research is, viewers, that there are so many varieties of apples all over the world that if you were to eat a variety every day, it would take you almost 27 years to cover them. So find out if it's true or not and how does it go. Okay, coming to the next question. Since we are talking about exercise, I will relate the question to this. Many of the people who exercise, especially if they are on weight training, I have found that they have protein shakes. They have been advised protein shakes, and they do tend to have meal replacements, be it in the form of a bar or in some other form. So what would you say on this?
So as you said, it's a supplement, it's a protein supplement. So it's actually supplementing your actual basic primary food that you're eating. So if you think that your protein intake is not going to be as per the requirement, is the time when you can probably consider. However, people who have just started workouts, people who are beginners, or probably it's been a month, 2 months, maximum 3 months, and they're just warming up to the idea of workout, it's always advisable to go slow on the protein shakes. And as your activity increases, the requirement of protein increases, is the time when you can consider the protein supplement. Do not go blindly because the trainer, or it's said that you should just go on you should have a protein supplement if you're working out. Even the meal replacement, it really depends upon what kind of goals you have. If you're somebody who trying to and plus what situation you are in. If you are at a place where you can afford a good meal, homemade or cooked, meal, please go ahead with that. Meal replacement was made so that at times of scarcity or at times when it was not easy for you to access those resources is the time when meal replacements were used. So let it be at that, and let's eat as much of natural foods as possible.
So true. Fresh, natural, hot as much as we
I
can,
think I
right?
think just like we say don't have medications. If you can have homeopathy and you have answer in homeopathy, why not homeopathy?
Right. True. Okay. Going ahead, Naina, I have seen that there are a lot of labels which say diet food or multigrain breads or fortified with vitamin D and a lot of things, 0 calories. So how healthy are they? They are labeled as diet foods. So what do you have to say about these labels which are available over the counter? Are they really healthy?
So every label will have a certain goal, like a low calorie food, good for people who are trying to lose weight, or low fat food, or high protein food. So, firstly, every packaged item will have some or the other preservative attached to it. That preservative, along with it, there will be something that will be there in order to increase its shelf life through a salt, excess of sodium, excess of sugar, or excess of oil or fat.
Right.
So, always, these packaged foods, though it will claim a certain thing, but at the same time, there are certain things which are not good for your body. So do not just go with that one mindset that because it says that it's a low calorie diet, I should go ahead with this packaged food. So this is number one thing. Second thing is whenever you, as you mentioned that, if the food is fortified, then do we include it? Understand that these items are all processed. Whenever you're eating something natural, and once it comes in the packaged form, it goes through a series of processing. So when it goes through that, it also gradually loses out on a lot of nutrition. So ultimately, it actually is hardly any nutrition left in that packaged bottle. And in
Yes.
order to compensate, it's fortified with a lot of things. Natural
Right.
food will not really tell you that. It will come with its own supportive nutrition. So if it's high in
True.
calcium, it will have certain small nutrients to support so that your body, absorbs it better. So it's
Right.
always wise to choose that rather than these things because they always claim, but there's always a backside to or a side effect
Yes.
that is involved in these packaged items or fortified foods. So avoid it as much as possible if you have access to natural
Right.
ones.
Also, 0 calories doesn't mean zero chemicals. It's full of
Exactly.
chemicals. Yes.
Exactly.
Well, we know that obesity is in itself a disease, right? But suppose if there are two individuals, suppose two males of the same
Hmm.
height and they are both overweight by 20 kgs,
Hmm.
but one of them has excess belly fat. Is that person more prone to diseases and why?
So yes, very valid question, and something that we also get a lot as dietitians is that I only need to make sure that my belly fat is taken care of. One of the reasons very high One of the reasons why a person might suffer from certain kind of lifestyle diseases is high visceral fat is your belly fat basically, and when that is high your chances of suffering from a disease increases. So even if they have exact same body fat or BMI or weight, whatever you call it, if the belly fat is high, your risk factor of getting a disease, or for that matter, any kind of hormonal imbalance will be very high. So you, in fact, need to be even more careful in ensuring that you have a healthier lifestyle, healthier eating habits. And frankly, size doesn't matter, does it? If you're fit, if you're healthy, you have no disease at all, you don't need to worry about it because that is all well-being is all about, right? it's
Great.
it's just how
Yes.
you feel about yourself.
Yes, I'm sure our viewers are very happy to listen to this. And fast foods are one of the main reasons for obesity, and
Yes.
they are full of sodium, saturated fats, trans fats, cholesterol, all the reasons why diseases happen. So if we keep them
Absolutely.
at bay, we can be healthy ourselves. Okay, now coming to a very common religious ritual which is followed about fasting, and I'm very respectful of that. Uh, but I have found that many people who fast usually tend to be empty stomach full day, and then they suddenly eat in excess proportion, say almost 2 meals in a day. It's like a quantity of 2 meals at
Yeah.
one time. Not only that, what they include during the meals are very high in carbohydrates, be it the sabudana vada, sabudana khichdi, it could be the potatoes, it could be French fries or the wafers rather, and the peanut chicky. So, what and how can we help them fast better?
I hope the viewers, most of them are the ones who fast really well. They do not cheat when they're fasting. So basically, the whole idea of fasting was that, in order to detoxify and cleanse your body, a person used to fast, which had a religious, it got connected with the whole religious aspect that you should be fasting because the hygiene, the cleansing, everything, kind of is all of that is related. So one of the things that nowadays a lot of individuals follow is the fasting aspect, but at the same time, what happens is they land up cheating in the middle, or they absolutely don't eat. While not eating obviously cleanses the body, if you are kind of fasting for a few hours in the middle, but that results in binge eating towards the end of the day, and that time you just lose your control and eat everything that you get, and you overeat. And that is what actually the first principle of fasting is that you after fasting is that you do not and you should not overeat over these things. The very first principle is eat something that is very easily digested, and
Right.
hence you should try and include first your fruits and your rice and your dal, things like that, and then proceed to things which you really like. Second thing is that a lot of people fast. It's always advisable to include things like fruits or eat something in an interval, but do not overeat, because then the essence of fasting is completely lost. So,
True.
so these two things are absolutely important to be kept in mind whenever you are fasting.
Right. And also, I would like to say where the overeating is concerned, we need to keep in mind that the stomach, suppose it has 4 parts. Two of it should be for food, one for
Yes,
water, and one should be kept a little empty for the mixing to happen,
correct.
so that the digestive juices, the food and water can all get enough space to mix and we don't really overeat. Right?
Absolutely. And your
Now,
stomach is only this much.
yes. So now coming to the water part, which I was mentioning, many a times people confuse hunger and thirst and they
Yes.
tend to eat more, but actually it was the thirst.
Yes.
So how much water should one consume and when?
So
Were
ideally,
you able to hear me, Naina? Yeah.
yes, yes. So ideally, it is very individualistic because it depends on the kind of diet the individual is having. Now, if somebody whose intake of diet is very high on fruits and vegetables, their intake automatically is on a lower side, because fruits and vegetables are
We are having
already
some
full of
connection
water.
issues, Naina. Yeah, your connection
Um,
issues are there, I think.
is it
You're freezing in between. Okay, I didn't get it.
okay?
What did you say about the water? It is individual from person to person, and
Yes.
what else?
So a person who has a good intake of fruits and vegetables, automatically his body's requirement of water reduces, because fruits and vegetables will already have enough water.
And when
Similarly,
should they have? When
so
should they
I
consume the
so
water?
ideally there is no there is no protocol of including, but yes, one of the things that is supposed to be kept in mind is if you're somebody who gets up early, late in the night, when you're sleeping, if your frequency of getting up late in the night just to visit the washroom is high, it is always advisable that you include water from first half to probably evening in a good quantity and taper it towards the night so that your night sleep is not hampered. This is something that is very important because a lot of people are suffering from insomnia or people do not get sleep easily. So this is something that has to
Right.
be borne in mind at all times.
Right. So asking viewers a question. Which food have very high water content? Anybody wants to answer? Any of you can type quickly. Which foods have very high water content? Well, let me tell you, cucumber, tomatoes, spinach, broccoli, they are very high in water. Right, Naina?
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, a favorite question of mine, because I have married to a Gujarati, I have a really sweet tooth, and I have craving for sweets after dinner. So, how do you curb this or consider this?
So this is something that even I have a terrible sweet tooth, but yes, there is nothing wrong with it because especially if I explain it scientifically, the whole understanding goes that once you've eaten your food, especially in Indian culture, we always prefer a sweet towards the end, simply because um, you already you salivate as soon as you eat sweets, especially. So the reason is that it has so many enzymes that it aids in digestion. So if you have a sweet tooth or you like eating something sweet towards the end of your lunch or dinner, it's absolutely fine. One of the things that you can do, however, is including sauce in your diet, which is something that Indians have already been having it. I think you'll get it in a restaurant even. So a
Yes.
teaspoon of sauce right after your meals sweetens, has that aftertaste, that sweetening aftertaste, and at the same time it helps in your digestion. And second thing, if fennel seeds is something that you don't really like, then you can probably include a mix of gur and chana, which is actually going to help not only a little bit in your, salivating aspect, but at the same time, it will make sure that your sugars don't spike towards, after your meals by adding a little chana to it. So you can do these two things.
Since now we are talking about the salivation part, viewers, well, do you know what is it about the food that gives you the taste? It is when it mixes with the saliva that you can realize whether it is sweet, whether it is sour, whether it is salty, whichever taste it is because of the saliva that the food mixes with. Well, it's been really nice, Naina, the way you have explained everything to us and the viewers. I'm sure they are happy, and I'm sure going to get a lot of feedbacks on the same too. Before we come to an end of the session, I know about some cards that you have developed called Fat to Fit.
Yeah.
And they have been really doing very well. It's a hit. Can you tell our viewers about these cards and how they can avail of them?
So the whole idea of Fat to Fit cards is that, if you do not want a dietitian in your life, somebody who's hounding you all the time, or you already are eating healthy, but you want a little bit of direction, they're just like you're playing deck of cards, if you can see them.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So they
Yeah.
look just like you're playing deck of cards, and all you can do is mix match all of them and make your entire diet plan by yourself with a lot of variety so that you do not find it monotonous. And it has your portion sizes, and it has different, more than 1,000 plans that you can make out of it. You can avail
Right.
it very easily on our website, which is fattofit.co.in, or it's available on Amazon as well.
It's a good gifting idea, I feel, Naina.
Absolutely,
Now, with so many
absolutely,
festivals coming up, it's really something healthy, and the person receiving it would also be very happy about it.
absolutely.
So, friends, viewers, you can connect with Naina on Instagram too, where her account is naina.singhania30. 13, right, Naina?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So friends, really thank you for being there. Naina, it was really, really nice having you on this session with all the inputs that you have given us. And before we end, I would like to tell my viewers that millions of people are suffering from hereditary diseases, which can be completely avoided, prevented with the right lifestyle and eating habits. Just as there are millions of people who get the diseases which have never been hereditary for them. Same way, we can avoid the diseases, totally prevent the diseases which have been hereditary. Because remember the mantra, eat healthy, eat happy, live healthy, and rule your way to health. Thank you so much, viewers. Thank you, Naina. It was
Thank you
really
so
nice
much.
having you. So,
Thank
friends, don't forget to follow us, subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much. Seeing you next week, Saturday, same day, same time. Bye bye. Bye, Naina.
Bye bye.
Bye.